Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer bringing you today's Mail Monday. If you're new to this series, what I do is I take a look at your emails, private messages, tweets, Facebook posts, etc., and give my replies. So I usually try to pick more serious ones, and let's get this started. Hey Woody, I'm female and I have concerns that my boyfriend may be sterile. We use protection almost every time, but there's been a few occasions where we haven't. At this point in my life, I don't want a child, but I'm slightly surprised by the fact that I haven't gotten pregnant yet. I'm not sure if this is true, but I've heard there was a 25% chance of getting pregnant whilst having unprotected sex. Do you think I'm just being paranoid, or maybe it's me and not him? How can I be sure, or how should I go about telling my boyfriend without making him worried or upset? Thanks. Appreciate it if you don't show my name. Wow, 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 wow. This letter is the theme song of the teenage mom. This notion that you've had sex a couple of times unprotected, unplanned, unprotected, and therefore figured that you're probably infertile. So now we can have lots of unprotected sex. You know, it's become our new norm. This is a super common story, and it always results in pregnancy. So let's talk about your logic here a little bit. 25% chance of getting pregnant unprotected. Kind of, sort of. You're mixing this up. So I did a little research on this, a little Googling. I'm not a doctor, but let's run with it. I'm reading there's a 15 to 25% chance of getting pregnant through unprotected sex. And when they say that, they don't talk about a particular incident. They talk about couples that are trying to get pregnant, right? Not ones that, wash out immediately afterwards or do everything they can to avoid pregnancy. These are people who are trying to get pregnant, 15 to 25% chance per ovulation cycle, right? So this is over the course of your fertile month here, not a particular slip up where, you did everything you could to prevent pregnancy afterwards. So the fact that you've had a couple of slip ups and haven't gotten pregnant yet, that's not completely abnormal. But if you start assuming that you're infertile, then having a baby is the next step there. It's going to happen, and it's why I picked this letter. I was like, maybe I can prevent a handful of baby gamer tags out there, guys from Team Gamertag. So yeah, you need to know that it is very, very normal not to have a baby, even if you slip 3 or 4 times. But if you make this a regular practice, you're going to start shopping for cribs and pacifiers. Oh, and one last quick note. You asked me not to show your name. Just so people know, I never show names. Sometimes I edit schools. Your privacy is super important to me, so you can expect that when you write. Help me, Woody, you glorious sex god. So, Woody, here's the story. Last night, a girl and I were talking. We were getting into some pretty intimate topics, and we finally divulged to one another we really like each other, but we proceeded not to know what to do. We didn't know if we wanted a relationship or anything for that matter. Then somehow, in the twister of conversation, I asked her if she wanted to have sex. She said yes. We couldn't last night. We were going to this weekend. I really like her. She's beautiful, and she likes me. Considering that this would be my first time, I feel apprehensive. In summation, I'm anxious to do this, and I don't know why. Any help? Please respond. Thank you so much. Oh, so you're really looking forward to having sex, huh? That doesn't change. It doesn't matter if it's your first time or your 6,000th time. Yeah, that stays the same. What to expect? Here's my advice for you on the first time. And by the way, for the purposes of this question, I'm going to assume that you're like 27 years old and no one's going to have any problem with you doing your thing. For your first time, I would suggest that you set yourself up with all the time that you need, right? Make sure that you're not going to be interrupted, that your roommate's not about to come home, that there isn't some problem along those lines. No rush. Have the whole night. To do what you want. And the other thing is, have an actual bed, right? It's a really good place to have sex. There's a reason it's so popular. These are my suggestions to you. My concern is that you're not going to be set up properly like you ought to be, and that's that. Take it slow. It's okay for it to be your first time, right? There's no rule against that. So you can tell her and without expecting any kind of negative feedback from it. So, at a high level, that's the deal. I don't want to get into the mechanics of it, but whoa, did you see that mortar kill? I don't want to get into the mechanics of it, but, take it slow, let her know that it's a first time. And, I'm sure this is going to work out well. You'll be fine. Hey, Woody. My dad seemingly thinks he can just walk into my room whenever he wants when the door is closed and he does not knock, and I'm scared that he will walk in on me while I'm doing my thing. So what I'm trying to say is, how do I tell him to stop without sounding too suspicious? Please help, Woody. All right. In a moment here, I'm going to ask you to pause the video and bring your dad on over to the computer screen. Let me talk to him directly. So go ahead, pause it now. All right. With that accomplished, Dad, what do we have going on here? You're walking in on your son's room, your teenage son's room, by the way. Every guy knows what that means, and you're not giving him the privacy that he needs. So what's happening here? I have a couple theories, right? One could be not so much that you're trying to catch him doing something, just that, your dominance over this kid is so absolute that you don't even respect his right to privacy. You treat him much the same way you treat all your other possessions and just sort of, steamroll over them. And that's not how you do this, right? You think about it from your kid's point of view, and just what you're doing to him when you don't respect him enough to knock on his door. And think about what kind of person grows up from being dominated the way that he is. So that's one thing. Or maybe you're trying to catch him in the act of drugs or something like that. Like, hey, I get a little insight through these interruptions into his life, through these unplanned barging into his room. Therefore, it's a tool I use in parenting. And, look, I could kind of see where you're coming from, but it's not the right way to do this. Barging in your kid's room to find out what's going on in their life is all wrong. What you really want to do is catch your kids in a moment where they're ready to talk, right? It's not all the time. And don't you wish it was on your own schedule? I know I do. I wish that, I could say, all right, Hope, let's sit down right now and talk about what's happening in your life. But it doesn't work like that. They're not always open books, but they are occasionally open books. And, when those moments pop up, take full advantage of them, find out what's happening in their life, provide the advice that you can. That's how you do it. That's how you get insight into what's happening in your kid's world. It's not by walking into their room interrupted. So yeah, kids need privacy to grow up and turn into their own people. I hope that you can start giving your son that. And there you have it. So back to the son. Wouldn't it be great if right now you were that open kid, that one that talked to your father? You remember how I was just saying, kids are not always open books. They don't always talk when you want them to talk, and wouldn't that be nice? Right now, why don't you be that guy? Why don't you be that guy that has a talk with your father, and you guys can work this out? So anyway, next mail. I thought you could help me with a problem I'm in. So I met a guy in a lobby about 8 months ago. We didn't talk much until right before the summer when I started adding him on Skype, and we started talking almost daily until I broke my headset in the beginning of August, I would say. We didn't talk for a week, and I brought up that he could buy a headset for me in the US and send it to me in Canada because he gets a great deal because he works there. I have my phone number. I gave him my phone number and my address. The problem is he's in the second year of college. I took out his age here for anonymity, but just between 10 and 14, right? This guy's young. After that, we talked for about an hour, and he said he had loads of money to spend, and he would give it to me for my birthday, which was coming up. I thanked him, and we kept talking until the day came. My dad found out that I got it for free, and he had my address. He made a huge deal about it, understandably, but he went into my Skype account and looked at all my history and all the stupid shit I said. Like, can I come in the shower with you? And stupid stuff like that, jokingly, but my dad doesn't get that now, and he's mad, and he has the police tracking both our networks, and I want to move into my mom's, but I'm afraid it would break his heart. My dad won't let it up, so I think I have no choice. My dad's being a real dick about it, too, like he's going to bring this up in court the next time they have it, and he's sending my mom texts like she's a horrible mom and stuff like that. Any and all advice would be greatly appreciated. All right, listen, I'm an adult, and I play games with kids all the time. I am on the leading edge of someone who would find this to be understandable, and I don't. This talk that you've had, people don't talk about hopping in the shower with each other jokingly, and they certainly don't do it with kids your age. Your father's pedo alarms are going off right now for good reason, and I think that what you need to do is sort of turn this around and say, Dad, thanks. I get where you're coming from. I won't be making that kind of mistake again. I blew it because you did. You did. You can't be talking to guys in their 20s about hopping in the shower. It's crazy. And you gave them your address. Your father's protecting you, and you probably think I'm as crazy and insane as he is right now. I'm not. I'm not. You know, anybody like if the same thing were to happen to me and you were to bring up hopping in the shower, I would throw the brakes on. I would say, whoa, 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 that's not right. But this guy jokes along with it. No. You know, you need to reset what's going on here, and your father's onto something. So best of luck to you. All right, if you're new around here and you enjoyed this video, you can click on that red box and subscribe. Otherwise, 2 videos you may have missed. On the left is Never Give Up. I really like this video. I got some good feedback from other commentators on it. And on the right was perhaps the most excited video I have ever made. I recorded it moments after Joe Lozon beat, who is probably the #3 guy in the world in his weight class. And Joe took him down in 47 seconds. So shocked the world. I was excited. And you'll get to see me fanboy out on the right side. Both pretty good videos, and have a nice day.